So if you trace the DS success story back far enough, you will always come up with a consistent hit, and that hit will be Tyas. Tyas has always DJ'd for us at Digital Society, plus he's always been a supporter of our DS recordings. So Tyas, welcome to the Digital Society 7th birthday. How are you, fella?
Doing really good, and thanks. I mean, yeah, it's good to be back here. I mean, yeah, I think I've been with the Digital Society now, I think, for the better part of over probably 6 years, since before they were doing, I mean, really when it all started. So, yeah, it's always cool, and especially to be part of the 7th birthday. I don't know if I played 7 years ago, but definitely 6 years ago. So,
I think you definitely played 6 years ago. I mean, well, like, we started small, so, you know, it took a while to get someone like you, but yeah, definitely within the first year.
Yeah. What was the venue? What was the venue? My House, right?
Yeah, that's the one. Man.
That was this. That was also still awesome. It was like proper underground venue. Oh man, really.
But the evolution from there to this is still, I feel, quite consistent, although just on a bigger scale.
Absolutely, it's very, very faithful to that underground vibe. Absolutely, that vibe hasn't changed at all. Yeah.
So I know you haven't been in a venue long, and what time are you on?
At 4:30, so I'm doing hours at 4:30 to 5:30. Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, have you had much chance to check it out?
Took a peek, and yeah, it's just absolutely rammed already in there. So yeah, I know how I'm gonna plan my attack tonight.
I was gonna say, do you do much preparation?
Not normally, but ever since ASOT was the first set I've ever not necessarily planned a playlist, like planned a play order, but I definitely planned out like which tracks I needed to play, and I did like edits of every single track I wanted to play that night. And I'm just going to continue doing that because I loved doing it in ASOT, and it actually makes me a little bit more into the set than usual. So that's what I've done tonight, and yeah, I mean, you really look forward to playing your set because you're going to test out all these edits that you made on every track, and yeah, it gives your set a little bit more of a custom feel.
So you pushing anything new out this evening? Testing it on a DS7 vibe?
Testing out the my new remix of Lange and Betsy Larkin, Insatiable. So I'm very, very curious to see what that looks like, you know, when it goes down on a dance floor.
I mean, I don't think there'd be any appropriate time to drop that. I'm sure it'd be sweet at any point in the evening. Do you know what I mean?
It's going to be early. Should probably be early on because it's not as it's more of the melodic one as opposed to the pure like just pure Bosch Fest. But then the Bosch Fest can come right in just right after.
So you have planned the set.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, well let's swerve away from the DS7 set, which I'm very much looking forward to. By the way, Black Hole Recordings. Tell me about it.
Yeah, it's been great. I mean, the relationship with them has grown tremendously, and over the past, I mean, probably around 6 months. And, you know, obviously the official move and everything was just a couple months ago. Started doing the releases with them now. And, I mean, Black Hole's been amazingly supportive. And also, of course, with a double album deal over the next 3 years.
I was actually going to ask, are these guys the only guys to actually manage to pin you down for an album?
It's been a great communication and negotiation as far as, you know, discussing the necessity of doing an album and the relevance. But, yeah, really, I think it's going to be an awesome thing, especially with the fact that you are free to do a lot more work where no one's going to pin you down for it. You know, you cover a wider gamut than usual, and you should be all right with an album. And if you do that in single releases, you probably can't get away with that.
So this album will be your first, unless I'm very much mistaken.
No, that'll be my first album ever. Yeah.
So is this album likely to have historic classics like Lift and Drop on it?
You know, I could do it that way, but I really do. I mean, the aim of the album is to have all unreleased tracks.
Or you just could revamp Lift and Drop.
Could revamp them, yeah. I mean, yeah. I wonder if I could do that. It's not on with Lift and Drop. That's over on Discover, but I'm sure Discover would be cool with me doing things like that. Of course, they're quite liberal with, you know, letting me use my own material for other projects. So I wonder if, yeah, that's definitely an option, yeah.
I would like to take the opportunity to lobby on your behalf from Digital Society the opportunity to maybe revamp Lift and Drop.
Well, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But yeah, it might be a really, really good idea, or do a drum and bass mix of Lift or something like that. Could be.
I think we might have had an inspirational moment right here at the Digital Society 7th birthday. Well, look, just tell me, you're an American living in Europe. You play a lot in the States. Help me out. What do you think about not a state of trance as in I'm in state of trance, but general state of the nation trance-wide, I don't know, here in the UK for a start?
The state of trance in the United States, I think it's a seed that at the moment is very well planted and well watered. Let's see if it...
I like that metaphor.
Like that. Let's see if it's actually going. I mean, what's happened is, you know, the progressive house and the whole EDM seed and that whole continue going with the metaphor. That's kind of drying off that soil a little bit. Not saying it's shit music or anything, but it's
Overgrown?
it might be it's definitely overgrown. It's starting to wither. It's competing with itself. So you have too many plants growing out of the same soil, and as a result, it's kind of cannibalizing on itself. As a result, though, the fan base is kind of slowly, their interest is cascading into other styles, whether it be trance, whether it be techno, whether it be drum and bass. I think it's kind of a little bit of everything, really. I mean, it just, people's tastes are refining, especially the younger crowd, which is from 14 to 21 years old, and this is the new generation. So, they can choose what they want to be into, but we're of course hoping it's going to be trance in the United States. I mean, I love getting back there. It's like a trip back home every time I go. So,
And kind of, well, yeah. In terms of the UK, how do you find it back in the UK?
The UK is like my second home away from home. Yeah, I mean, it was one of the first places I was doing tons of gigs, and I have lots of really, really close friends that I've developed over the years. So that's what's been great about here. It really is my second home, like my second home. So, especially Leeds, like Manchester area, London, Sheffield, and so it's always great coming back here, especially for a party like this.
Definitely. It's certainly a party. Hopefully you can't hear it coming through, but literally the walls are shaking at the moment. In fact, they have been for a while now. They have been for a while now. So, I don't know, just to conclude then, Sean, in terms of your views, what sort of artists are you looking out for at the moment? Which ones are kind of catching your ear, so to speak?
The guys that I'm backing for Titanium Recordings, like people like Darren Porter, Alan Morris, Brian Flynn, Tangle. These are the guys that I'm really pushing for my label as well. And there'll be a lot of releases coming from these guys on my label, and that's the reason I picked them up, because I feel that they are a big part of the new generation of trance music.
Okay, in terms of just on that Titanium vibe, in terms of where we are with the radio show, what episode are we at now?
We are at 211, and it's slowed down because, of course, I've gone instead of weekly 1 hour shows, I've gone to monthly 2 hour shows. Okay. More to keep my sanity, and to make each show a little bit more meaningful, because I can I squeeze in a 30-minute guest set and a phone interview every week, and I kind of like the new format a lot more. And plus, I have time to really go through tracks and not like I was rushing my show before, but it gives me time to really fully develop a proper 2 hour show format, as opposed to where you come from if you come home from Australia and your show is due in 5 hours. Right. That's so stressful. So this is awesome, because if you have a monthly show coming up, you could do it 2 weeks early, you could do it 1 week early, and have the time to do it properly. There should be a big news coming up regarding the show within the next few weeks, but I'm going to hold on that for the moment.
Sure you want to hold on that? It's an opportunity to plug this.
I have to hold.
Okay. Well, Sean, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for having me on.
No problem, sir. No problem. Sean Tyas here at Digital Society's 7th birthday.